All right, people. So today we're going to be talking about why they should be able to feel your absence. If somebody doesn't feel your absence, it means you occupied no space in their heart. It means you had no meaning. It means you added nothing to their day. And now there is where acquaintances make our days. Like for example, in school, there was a lot of people that I really enjoyed. I even dreamt about them yesterday. People, I actually never mind. I'm a very loving person, so I do miss people. But if you're talking to someone and you're absent for a few days or even weeks or months, and they don't feel your absence, that's a red flag. If I've ever seen a red flag, that's the Terminator of all red flags. So today we're going to be watching her videos where she describes and talks about why that's important. At least I think. I haven't watched it yet. And don't forget, today's the last day to get 60% off all of my courses using the coupon code Mindful and 30% off to work with me one-on-one. Click on the description down below or I'm closing the channel. All right, let's begin with the video.
Fresh spoken word from God, and I believe that I have one for you today. And today I had to come on here and deliver this word tonight because it felt super urgent. I just got this word not too long ago, but I just started writing everything down concerning this because I feel like this is for a lot of people right now, especially family relationships, romantic relationships. It could be relationships at our job, just a lot of the hurt, pain, trauma, or whatever we feel has a lot to do with other human beings and other people. And a lot of the pain that we can feel could be due to having to remove ourselves from certain relationships that we didn't necessarily want to have to remove ourselves from.
Yeah, this is very true. Even me this year had to remove myself from a situationship. And like I told you guys, it was great. It hurt, but I'm kind of proud of myself that I was able to transition so easily. I don't know how the fuck I did that, but it just feels good to be able to walk away from toxic situations.
So I got this word about people really feeling your absence right now, and they feel so deeply now that you are gone, just how much you offered their life with your presence.
Yeah, because how do you know that you love someone? Well, when they die and they pass away, you miss them. Imagine somebody passes away and you don't miss them. What does that say? So the love that you have for someone is usually strongest not when they're there. It's strongest when they're away from you. So this is why this strategy works so well. Not strategy, but a part of human nature, that we idealize what's not there. We want what we don't have. We take for granted what we have.
Just how much peace, comfort, and just companionship, good companionship that you offered by being in their life. And now that they no longer have you around, they are really feeling your absence, and they're feeling it deeply. And they're really getting a chance to see like, wow, I had a good person in my life and I treated them so poorly that they exited my life and did not return. And in this generation, in this time, it is so hard to find good people, good, genuine people that don't have, ulterior motives. They don't, wish bad for you, and they don't secretly have a plan to deceive you or mistreat you behind your back. That is so hard to find. And I feel like the people that watch my channel or people that are part of this community, we are that remnant of people that seek to treat people properly and treat others how we want to be treated. And
well, old school way, perhaps, like not playing games.
Are loyal, are, genuine, and are considerate of other people's emotions, and just so many other positive qualities and characteristics that are lacking in society today. And there are very few people like that left. People get a kick out of seeing what they can get away with. People get a kick out of using people, for money or maybe access or status. Or
it's just that people want too many things nowadays. People want too much. And when somebody wants a lot and they're not patient and they tend to be rule breakers, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to start just being malevolent and just mean and just manipulative because they're willing to break the rules and they have enough desire. So when you have someone who has no morality, intense desire, highly envious and jealous, what do you think is gonna happen? You're gonna create a freaking monster.
Whatever it is just this spirit of manipulation, control, deceit that is just taking over in this day and age. And so I believe that there are people that have exited relationships because you felt that it was not reciprocal, that it was disingenuous, and that it was ultimately toxic and not good for you to be part of. And those people that you have decided to remove yourself from, they are feeling it. Let's say it was a work relationship and you weren't being treated right in this work environment, and so you left the job. They are getting a chance to see just how excellent you were. They are getting a chance to see that, wow, there was really no employee like that person.
But also, sometimes they don't miss you. Let's just keep it honest. She might be trying to make you guys feel better, but the truth is that sometimes they just don't miss you. And sometimes their life improves without you. That's a fact. And that is something that personally, I don't want to think about, right? I don't want to think about me leaving and all of a sudden everyone's happier and all of a sudden everyone's jubilating, right? That sounds like a nightmare for me, right? But that is actually, and also that's a fact. Like if you're with a girl and your girl broke up with you, you know, she's not sad. Most likely she's getting digged down to sleep by Tyrone, the personal trainer, and she's happier without you. That is a reality. And that is a reality that we all have to feel comfortable thinking about, because that is part of the truth. We can't just think about the fact that they're sad without us. That's not realistic. That's exactly what the ego would think, you know? Now, do some people miss us? Yes. And you could tell because when you're absent from their lives, they start contacting you more. They start wanting to see you more. They start keeping up with you. That's how you know it was a genuine thing. You never really know whether or not the friendships you made in school were genuine until you get out of school and you see who follows through or not. And if they don't follow through, you shouldn't take offense, because that just means you guys didn't connect that way, and that's totally fine.
The characteristics that this person had, you know, not only do they work hard, which a lot of people don't do, but you had great people skills, and you know, you were just a really integral part in the flow of the operation. And now that you are no longer there, you have decided to remove yourself for whatever reason. Maybe it was a toxic work environment and you just couldn't absolutely take it, or maybe, you know, you moved on to bigger and better and you got a better job that pays more with a better culture. And now those people that you left are getting a chance to see, like, wow, we lost the good one when that one left.
But that's only if you were competent and if they liked you. That's the only way you're gonna get that. If you were completely useless in their lives, if you didn't add value, if you didn't make the environment better, if you didn't make the person feel validated from within, you know, if they didn't feel good in your presence, then when you leave, you're just gonna be relief. You're just gonna be that you leave, and it's just gonna symbolize, finally I could think straight. Finally I could do work. Finally I could be happy. You know, and if you're causing that in people, if you're causing people to be at ease once you leave, then you're doing something wrong. One, you're staying too long around the wrong people. Sometimes you could find yourself around the right person, around the wrong. You could find yourself with the wrong person, which means this person would never like you, and you're just wasting your time trying to get them to like you. When you meet someone, you should always give them space at one point or another to test whether or not what you guys have is real or not. Because only space will show you whether or not you're doing is working. And if it's not working, then why waste your time? Like, nothing's worse than trying to fix a situation you can never fix, and then realizing that 3 or 4 years later, when you're already wasting your time. People are not here to help you not waste your time. It is your job for you to conserve your time.
Because there's just one you, and they're really feeling it right now. So like I said, this message is for people who have decided to move on from relationships that were no longer serving you. And now,
heck, even like, honestly, like when I moved on from toxic, I've rarely been in toxic relationships. In my opinion, most of my toxic relationships never worked. They usually last like 3 days, 2 weeks. Like, I could spot them really well. And for some reason, I turn off a lot of toxic people. I don't know what it is about me, people, but toxic people don't like me. Like, toxic people see me as toxic. So they don't stay around me too long, right? Good people stay around in my life, and I'm happy because I live a very peaceful life. But with women, what I've noticed is that when I pull away from a woman and she's being toxic to me, a lot of the times, most of those women just stay away because toxic people, a lot of the times they have pride, right? I do not envy people who are in toxic, fun relationships. I just don't envy them. I really don't. Like people who have great makeup sex, people who, dudes who date women who are OnlyFans and like I've seen guys who have this like crazy fun relationships from the outside in, but you'll notice like when it first started doing OnlyFans, you'll notice that the guy's face was maxed so that he didn't want to show his face, but his girlfriend wasn't, right? His two girls, they will show their face, but not him. But then over time, the more you watch it, the more you notice then a few months later, he's only showing his two eyes, right? Then a few months later, he's showing his nose, and then like a year later, now he's like completely into OnlyFans, right? Don't get me wrong, a lot of guys will see that and that's fine, but there's something off about that, right? What that says to me is that it's fun, the sex is great, but he doesn't want to show his face. But over time, he got used to it, and now he's a full-fledged porn star, right? I'm talking about a specific anyways. And I see that and I'm like, that's toxic. That's toxic. Because clearly he didn't want to do it at first, but then after a while, he did it. And what that says is that he's going against his value system, right? And that's toxic. And there's nothing to envy about that. There really isn't, because your value system has an effect. You breaking your own value system does have an effect on your self-esteem. And without you even knowing that your self-esteem is being you're trading your self-esteem for fun, for moments of happiness, for moments of pleasure, of hedonism. And unfortunately, the best solution for those types of situations is to leave. But do you think that dude's ever going to leave? Fuck no. Hell no. Again, those are toxic pleasures. Pleasurable toxic situations that I have zero envy for. And a lot of you guys are in those situations where the person is in your life halfway and the validation they give you feels so good, but the pain you feel afterwards is unbearable. And that's the part that I just don't envy. And that's the part that you guys have to realize and leave. Halfway lovers always leads to lower self-esteem in the long run.
Those people are getting a chance to feel your absence, okay? So we all know the quote, you never know what you have until it's gone, right? And now the people that you left are feeling it. They may never admit it to you because of pride, but people are regretting treating you poorly and letting you go. They truly never thought that you would find the strength to leave. And they thought that because they mistook your kindness for weakness. They thought because you were kind and you were, harmless as a dove, that you were a weak individual.
And usually the person, if you give that impression to people, you're doing something. You're doing something. You can't give the impression that you're weak. And the way that we give the impression that we're weak is because we smile too fucking much. Okay, stop it with the overly smile. If you're gonna smile halfway. 2, you express to people how weak you are. You literally tell people that you get played and that you're gullible. Who does that? And the other one is that there's a certain softness to your personality. It's almost like an old person, right? That you could tell they have no balance. You could tell their feet aren't really sturdy on the ground. You could tell that those little muscles aren't really reacting to the little shifts in weight. So you could tell there's like they're off kilter. You could just blow on them or push them and they'll tip over like a cow, right? And I don't say that like in a negative way. I literally mean that. And some people, you could just tell they have no base, no foundation. They're not grounded. You could just easily push them off. And usually the signals we're sending is nonverbal cues. The whole, when you speak like this, like even girls and dudes, there's like a question type of way of talking, like talking talking like you're asking a question, right? You're talking almost as though you're hoping that you say the right thing. Even your responses are quick. Even your responses come with a little bit too much emotional punch. You know, you say, "What do you mean by that?" Right? Rather than, "What do you mean by that?" Right? There's just too much emotion in the first, like, initial talking, initial saying of a word. Too much emotion in your initial movements. And those little things add up to weakness. And then on top of that is your mindset of, I like this person, I don't want to leave them. And that will have a cascading effect, like a demolition of a building. It will have a cascading effect on your whole personality. All because you're not willing to walk away. All because you like this too much. All because you're addicted to this like it's crack. Once you learn to let go of the outcome and learn to develop high intention, low attachment, that mindset will reverberate throughout your whole body, your whole face, all of your nonverbal cues will drastically transform. All because you're willing to walk away. All because you're willing to have confrontation. All because you're willing to show negative emotion. All because you learn not to hide your anger when you're angry. Now, if you have anger problems, that's not for you. We're talking about more so about people who are passive.
And that you will just take mistreatment, and that you will be, you will tolerate disrespect and mistreatment because of the kindness that you extended to others, not knowing that you aren't soft. You just are a genuinely kind person. And so they never thought that you would find the strength, because they didn't think you had the strength to get up and leave and move on from things that weren't serving you. So you gave these people multiple chances, and you gave people the benefit of the doubt because you choose to see the best in people. But make no mistake, you are no fool. And once you knew for certain, you left and you have not returned. Even when you left, they didn't think that you would have the strength to stay away, because they thought you were weak, because you loved so deeply and you were so passionate. Some people took you, let's say you left a romantic relationship and you said, this is not healthy, this is not good for me, I'm out. And you left and you've been no contact. Maybe you did that in a family relationship. Maybe someone has been treating you poorly that is your own blood, and you left and you did not return.
And see, now she's getting deeper with family members. A lot of the times we give excuses to family members more than we should. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, all of those excuses are just like, what do you call that? Stockholm syndrome, where and look, man, like I've had to push some family members away. Like, this is not just for relationships. You know, yes, it does work with women and men, but this is just generally speaking. Like, when somebody's not good for you, if they're gaslighting you, or better yet, just notice how they make you feel. Like, one of the ways to know if somebody's toxic, just notice how they make you feel. Do you feel secure around them? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel happy around them? Do they make you feel bad? Do they blame you? Are you always being accused? Are you always fighting with them? Like, whether or not you're right or wrong, if this is happening, it's better to just pull away. And for me, the problem that people have is that they pull away a little bit too late. They pull away once their self-esteem is to the ground.
They thought when you left that it was like, yeah, whatever, you'll need me before I need you. And, they thought that you would be crawling back on your knees, begging to be in a relationship with them, but they forgot the one that you serve. You serve a God who is going to always provide your needs, and that you will never need someone he will never cause you to need someone that has mistreated you and put you down and tried to make you feel like they should be your God, and they should be the one that you serve and put all of your faith and hope and trust in, as if there isn't someone more powerful than them. And so they treated you like, you would always need them, and that.
Yeah, that's such a big one, that they feel like you're always going to need them. But why is it? Because they see no strength from you. They see no assertiveness from you. They see no initiative from you. They see you as weak. People, somebody has to take up the role of the weak person in this world. Not everyone is going to be strong. And unfortunately, a lot of us unconsciously get put in the position of weakness, where we are where we are subordinate to other people above us. This dynamic is only fixed by a change in your mindset. Only your mindset can change and transform this dynamic.
That they will never need you and that you weren't worth much of anything because they thought that you would always have to crawl back and need them and beg them for their presence. Little did they know.
Because you've done it before. That's why. People, like I say, studies show that there was I always talk about the study of prisoners who assaulted people actually, what I'm saying, sex, those types of people, those kind of criminals. Anyways, they did a study where they looked at women walk, and they told them, judge the women by their walk, and which one do you want to assault more? Just judge them by their walk. Which one do you think will be the easiest victim? And they had two types of women who experienced assault in their lives, actually, sex, and women who were considered confident and never had those types of experiences. The crazy thing is the men, you almost unanimously chose to attack the women who actually had a history of assault. There was something about the way they walked that inspired the predator in these men. But the women who didn't have a history of assault actually walked in a way, and they said, I don't want to, not her, I want the other one. Without them knowing the other one was actually a victim. Your nonverbal cues are betraying you. They're telling people your history. They're telling people your traumas. And the people who could smell that the best are the predators who are wired to attack you. Men, women who know how to manipulate manipulate you from down within. Men who know how to tell you what you want to hear. And we all have those weaknesses. We all have that offer that if they offer us, our ears perk up. Our inability to say no increases. The way to fix that, as simple as it sounds, is to develop a meditation practice. Plain and simple. Develop a meditation practice. The meditation practice will slowly over time fade away those little nudges of behavior that communicates weakness. It'll fade it away over time. If you actually meditate consistently, it'll be quicker if you actually go to a 10-day Vipassana retreat. You could go to dharma.org, 10-day free Vipassana retreat. Or you could buy the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or check out my course Emotional Mastery. One of those courses, and you can get it at 60% off using the coupon code MINDFUL. But you need to change your nonverbal cues, or better yet, develop assertiveness. Assertiveness training will fix this also. Because a lot of the times this is just a lack of assertiveness. When you've been victimized or feel like you're a victim of somebody's manipulation, you naturally become less assertive. And then that's felt as learned helplessness.
That you will never have to do that because you put your faith and your trust in a greater source than they could ever be, right? And so when you left, they did not think that you will have the strength to stay away. Maybe this is a romantic relationship and they thought that they manipulated you to the point that you were out of your mind and you were dizzy and you were so far in love with them that you didn't have the strength enough to walk away from a toxic relationship. Maybe they thought that you will tolerate disrespect and mistreatment for the rest of your life because you love them enough to try to see them through growing and changing. But once you realize, okay, this person is not changing, this person is stuck on being a toxic individual, you said, you know what, I've got to love me enough to let you go.
Yes, and the way you do that is you test people out. For example, like I've had, for me, I just hate that this is a reality for me, right? Especially with some family members. With lovers, I don't care because a lot of times, I tend to read people really well, and I leave them once I sense there's some Satan inside of them. With family members, I give them more shots. Like if a family member is being toxic with me, for example, I will give them space for a few months and then come back and see what happened. And if I see that they behave when I'm away, but they don't behave once I'm there for too long, then I'll slowly just give them a prescription of my presence, where I'll see you half a day every few months and text you from time to time, right? With people who you're seeing, you don't have to give them that leeway. You just don't. Why? Because people who you're seeing, you don't know them that well. You don't know whether or not they're psychopaths. Your family members, you kind of know. And unfortunately, this is how you raise your value as a person. It's just because people are always trying to put you down. And tolerating people who don't value you will lower your value because it'll make you think that's what you deserve. You're just going to learn helplessness and just lower your value and accept the subjugation that these people are putting you through. So many men, for example, have had a high self-esteem when they were raised but met the wrong woman, and without even knowing it, they signed up for a prison sentence of low self-esteem and self-sabotage. Plain and simple. All because they stayed with the wrong woman.
I've got to love myself enough and respect myself enough to not let you treat me this way and sit here and tolerate it. And so once you found the strength to say, you know what, this is what it is and it's not going to change unless I change, I'm out, and you have not returned. But they didn't think that you were going to stay away. But because you've stayed strong and you've maintained your boundaries, these people are like, wow, what happened to the weak? They thought you were weak. What happened to the weak person that I once knew? They're gone. He's gone. She's gone, right? And she's not coming back. So they did not think that you would have the strength to stay away because you love.
And that's why they disrespected you, because they didn't think you could do that. And why did they think you can't do that? Because you gave them that impression. Oh my God, Father Alex froze. I'm not freezing. I'm just looking at you, trying to get that message across.
So deeply, and you were so passionate. But now they're feeling, they're feeling how wrong they were about you. They think of you often at this point. Now that it has been time between you two and you haven't communicated.
You see, people realize the mistakes of their ways once they feel like it's over, once they feel like they have no opportunity. That's when people actually start to realize what they did wrong. And for example, like once you graduate college is when you realize, you know what, maybe I should have taken it a little bit more serious. Once you lose your youth is when you realize, you know what, maybe I should have done a little bit better job at keeping my health. Once you lose your health, right? And so once you lose that friend, or once you get out of a certain stage of life, that's when you realize, oh my God, I should have taken more responsibility and appreciated it more. It's the same thing. Once you give the impression that it's over, that's when people start to self-reflect. Before that, they're selfish, self-absorbed, self-consumed, and they're not seeing how they're hurting you. And because of that, you're not allowing them to self-reflect because you're not leaving. That is the only way some people can self-reflect. And you are not letting them do that. By the way, people, if anybody wants to start a TikTok with my channel content, I'll give you guys all the permission. All you got to do is click on the description down below where it says become a TikTok follower. But you're not really going to be a TikTok follower. I'm just going to give you permission, and I'm going to give you guys access to all of my library of shorts. Not my shorts, but like video shorts. And you guys can make your own video shorts for the TikTok. Again, as long as you send them back to me, to my channel, you guys have all of the permission to use my content. A lot of people have used it and gained hundreds of thousands of followers using my content, So it's a great way for me to gain followers, but also it's a great way for you guys to upload my videos and be part of the community, I guess. Let me know what you guys think of that idea. Just sign up in the description down below.
You haven't tried to, nurture or reconcile at all. Maybe you have to communicate with this person. Maybe you and another person share a child, and you have to communicate with this person, and you've been very, Matter of fact, in your conversations, like it's just been about the kids and that's that. You haven't tried to have a conversation about, mending the romantic relationship. It's just been pick up, drop off, boom, that's that. And this person expected you to be like, can we talk? What's going on? Like, what's going on with us? How are we going to spend Christmas? How are we going to spend Thanksgiving? They expected you to be weak and expected you to fold, and you have not. You stayed 10 toes down on your boundaries.
And unfortunately, what this does is that it reveals to people a reality that they may have been trying to avoid the whole time. And that's that this person does not like me. And that's that this person could do without me. And to me, that's the most important part. Learning how to handle that reality is the most important part, because a lot of you guys will experience results you don't want to see. You may see the truth you've been trying to hide, and that's the fact that this person may never come back. And how you react to that truth says a lot about your self-esteem, and there's nothing wrong if you make the mistake of going back to someone who doesn't love you. There's nothing wrong. As long as you know that now that means you have low self-esteem, it's totally fine. Now you can look at yourself with more clarity. Now you know yourself more. It's okay. Because this is the moment when you're actually going to start actually being liberated. You're going to go back and now you're self-aware. I'm a fucking desperate fuck. But now you know. Now you're going to be able to observe yourself from a different light. And I can promise you that self-awareness and that acceptance of you going back to someone who doesn't like you and you accepting that because you can't control yourself, that knowledge will liberate you. Over time, it will. It will. Because you're going to start to see more shit that they do. You're going to start to feel the appropriate emotions you should be feeling from them. In other words, back then they disrespected you, and because you were so gun-ho on making them like you, you ignored it. But now, because you're more self-aware than before, them acting that way makes you want to pull away more.
And on the fact that, you know what you deserve, and they aren't treating you how you deserve to be treated, and so you aren't trying to reconcile. And now that you have allowed some time to be between you all, they're getting a chance to feel just how much you did in their life and how much easier their life was when you were around, and how much better and peaceful their life was when you were in it. And now that you're out of it, they say time makes the heart grow fonder.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, sister Rima.
Or distance makes the heart grow fonder. Now that you have allowed there to be some time and distance between you two, they get a chance to see just how much love you truly provided, just how much peace and how much patience you carried. Maybe they tried to move on, or maybe you left because they were cheating, or they weren't,
Maybe you left. If you leave because they were cheating, never go back.
They were seeing other people or whatever, and they went.
I always say this, man. If somebody cheats on you and they want to go back, and you're really desperate, there's only one thing you could do to make me go back. You're gonna have to lick my ass. You're gonna have to be my sex slave. I don't give a fuck. If I'm desperate to have you back and you want to get back with me because you cheated on me with Tyrone, the personal trainer, and you think you're just going to get back with me and say, I'm sorry. No, boo-boo. You hurt my ego. You hurt me where it hurts. And now, if you want to go back, you're going to have to be my sex slave. Or just walk away because you don't need this. You don't want to go back to this. People let cheaters go back too easily. They thinking I'm sorry is good enough of a punishment. Get the fuck out of here, man. Somebody cheats, that's like blasphemy, man. That's like blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. That's some unforgivable shit. So if you're gonna go back to me, you're gonna have to do some unforgivable shit to get back with me. Cause we're playing dirty now. You cheated on me. Now I gotta do something as dirty as you. And heck, I may not even want you at the end of the month. Like, that's why I always tell people, no contact does not work on cheaters, because it'll never change them. It's over. You'll never trust them. The only way for you to trust a cheater is to have full access to their lives. And by that point, you're getting toxic.
off and tried to build a relationship with this other person, and they're seeing that the character of that other person is not the character or the heart posture that you have, and that what you have is what is worth having. You know, maybe they got lost in the sauce and they were so blinded by the body or by the new shiny toy on the street that they forgot what was at home, and that what was at home was, you know, love and everything that actually matters, rather than just the lust of the flesh in the eyes, right? So they forgot. And now that they're seeing that that new shiny toy is not worth anything, does not have the character that is necessary to build a family or build a relationship, and now they're missing you. They thinking about you, and they're like, man, I wish I had my backbone.
It's almost like when I had tinnitus. I'm trying to see if I hear it. When I had tinnitus, I started missing silence, like the sound of silence, of not having anything ringing in your ear. I was missing that sound like no tomorrow. And I realized how much I loved silence only when I felt like I lost the ability to hear silence. This happens with any phenomenon. And if I really didn't value silence, I wouldn't miss it. That's why people, you don't have to feel like you love me for you to love me. Because we all love our health, but it's only when we are losing our health that we value it. But that doesn't mean you didn't value your health back then. It just means that you weren't conscious of that feeling. And life makes you conscious of it only when it's lost. So absence allows people to be conscious of what they really feel. Some people suffer from alexithymia, the inability to feel emotions.
I wish I had my rock, my anchor, the person that you can build a family and a foundation with. They're wishing that they had you again, and they're thinking of you often. And what's funny is that on the flip side, you are thinking of them less. The less you think about them. When you first split, you were so caught up on the heartbreak of it all. And now that you have allowed time, distance, space, and healing to occur in your life, you're thinking of them less. And you are getting a chance to heal and just move on with your life. And
honestly, that feels so good when you realize you're not thinking of those dumbass people.
See that you can make it without these people. And now that, you know, the new shiny toy isn't so fun, they're thinking about you and you're thinking of them less. So understand that in this hour, people are feeling the absence that you have allowed to occur by respecting yourself enough to move on and to walk away from toxic relationships.
Yeah, because again, they thought that you were that. To avoid these situations, become aware of how you're coming across, man. Like, we got to stop with this trying to act like being soft and cuddly and compassionate is how you prevent problems. No, you prevent problems by looking like a threat. You prevent problems like looking like a problem. Plain and simple. Nobody attacks the strong. Only the weak get attacked. How life is.
Whether it be romantic, family, work relationships, whatever it is, people are feeling that they lost something good when they lost you. So continue to, respect yourself and respect your boundaries, and to stand up for what you know is right, and to never ever tolerate disrespect and mistreatment, because the tables always turn, the tides always turn, and it will always be a day of reckoning. And people will never get away with mistreating you and, treating people poorly. You reap what you sow. And so you can't sow seeds of deceit and deception and manipulation and mistreatment and expect to reap a harvest of, trust and family and love.
And I believe we're going to end it here. Karma is real, If you manipulate people, you're going to attract manipulators. And if you've been manipulated, those people will get their karma. And I truly believe that. I thoroughly believe that, man. The energy that is required for you to manipulate people is the energy that you need to attract manipulators. Plain and simple. Me again, I'm so lucky. I do not attract toxic people. I really don't. Like, it's the luckiest thing on the planet. Simply because I eliminate them. And I'm a nice person in real life. And I don't lie to people. Anyone who knows me, anyone who really knows me, they all know me. Even the girls that I go out know my evil shit. And they're comfortable with it. I don't lie to women about the things that I do. How many women I'm with. You know, what I want. I just don't, because I do believe that karma does exist. And you know, my mistake was when I first started my channel, making you guys think I'm some evil dude. I was like, maybe that would work with views. But the truth was, y'all were thinking I was fucking Lucifer. When in reality, I'm the nicest person you'll meet. You know what I'm saying? And that, for me, has kept my karma really nice. Like, I have healthy relationships. They may not be perfect, right? But they're nice, right? I have friends. I don't have friends that'll sleep with my girl. They have me as a friend that'll never sleep with their girls. The girls that I'm with, I'm 100% honest with them. I tell them what's the deal. I just, you know, and I believe that causes good karma, and it'll go back to me, hopefully in a good way. You know what I'm saying? And honesty is the best policy, but also learning how to keep some things to yourself is also the best policy, at least when you're getting to know the person. But distance does not make somebody like you. Distance just reveals to them how they feel about you, and it reveals to them how they feel about you as well. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyways, I should be posting another video today. Let me know what you guys think of these reaction videos. Seriously, I really need to know what you guys think of my reaction videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.